Hi everybody, this is Shannon. Thanks for joining me on the channel tonight. You are watching No Shelf Control. I love to come and tell you about new books, and usually when I win books from Goodreads giveaways, it is because they are brand new titles or titles that are coming out soon that the publisher and author are looking to promote. So I have won 5 books over the past 6 weeks and wanted to come and tell you all about them. So I have these 5 titles to tell you about today. The first one is called The Blue is Where God Lives, and it is by Sharon Sochel Washington. It is a novel. It was published April 18th, 2023 by Harry N. Abrams, and it is 288 pages. Here's what the synopsis says about this one. A powerful work of Afro-magic realism that interrogates the legacy of slavery and roots of poverty, witnesses the beauty and power in survival, and asks whether belief, magic, and intention can forge new realities. Blue's daughter, Citra, is dying a horrific death. Thousands of miles away, Blue feels time slowing and hears voices, followed by an 18-month stillness. More than a century before, Blue's grandparents, Amanda and Palmer, attend a salon party in New Orleans. It's a veritable array of who's who within pre-Civil War social circles. Conversations get heated quickly as Ismay, the hostess who hails from French royalty, antagonizes Palmer, a landowner whose parents had been sold into American slavery and who's there to seek revenge, and Amanda, a shapeshifter and puzzle maker who had been enslaved until this very gathering. At this party, Amanda learns of a plot that will doom a line of her and Palmer's family to poverty. She devises her own counterplot to undo the damage. Meanwhile, Blue comes out of her stillness, broke and devoid of inspiration. In profound grief and consumed by guilt, Blue travels to the ranch where the voices grow louder, and she has visions of 2 women from the distant past. As time collapses and Blue and Amanda meet in the space of possibility, Blue feels the spark of a power and creative energy she had only glimpsed. A novel of invention but grounded in the real, The Blue is Where God Lives is a dual timeline, time-bending novel of undeniable beauty, magic, and possibility. So that sounds really interesting to me. Very different from anything I've ever heard of before. Afro-magic realism. So the whole magic thing must be where Blue is sort of not communicating, but able to communicate with Amanda. And these dual timelines and time traveling should be very interesting. So this is a new title, came out in April, something that I am interested in dipping into to see if it's something that I'll enjoy. Again, when I win these books from Goodreads, sometimes I don't know if I'm going to like them or not. So this is one that I received that I am excited about. This is it. I should have shown you before. The Blue is Where God Lives. And you can see in the blue these faces that are outlined just a little bit. It almost looks like a floral pattern or a butterfly, but in fact, those are faces. So let's give this one a try and see what Afro magic realism, what that really is and how that strikes us. So that's the first one. The second one is called, very different, it is called The Wisdom of Morrie. And it is by Morrie Schwartz, and it says, living and aging creatively and joyfully. Now, just the other day, we talked about the Book of Charlie, and this is a little bit similar. It says on the cover, beautiful. Those lucky enough to read this book will be inspired. And that's a quote from Deepak Chopra. So let's read more about this one, The Wisdom of Morrie. So The Wisdom of Morrie was published April 18th, 2023. By Blackstone Publishing, and it is 350 pages. And you can see it's a fairly sizable little book, but I believe that it is written in such a way that it will be a pretty quick read. You know, there's a lot of space in between the sections. You can see that. Not quite as much as some of Maggie Smith's poetry books, but definitely some space here that'll make it a quicker read than the 350 pages actually indicates. So here's the synopsis. A May book club pick by the Longevity Book Club. Beautiful. Those lucky enough to read this book will be inspired by Deepak Chopra. From the eponymous subject of the beloved classic, Tuesdays with Morrie, comes an insightful, poignant masterpiece on staying vibrant and connected to life. Who am I really? What have I done? What is important and meaningful to me? What difference does it make that I have lived? What does it mean to be truly human, and where am I on that scale? Morrie Schwartz, the beloved subject of the classic multi-million copy #1 bestseller Tuesdays with Morrie, explores these questions and many more in this profound, poetic, and poignant masterpiece of living and aging joyfully and creatively. Later life can be filled with many challenges, but it can also be one of the most beautiful and rewarding passages in anyone's lifetime. Morrie draws on his experiences as a social psychologist, teacher, father, friend, and sage to offer us a roadmap to navigate our futures. A great companion to Tuesdays with Morrie, or the perfect introduction to Morrie's thoughtful philosophies, the Wisdom of Morrie is filled with empathic insights, stories, anecdotes, and advice told in Morrie's reassuring, calm, and timeless voice. Let the Wisdom of Morrie be your guide in exploring deep questions of how to live and how to love. So that is the Wisdom of Morrie. You can also see that it has some pictures in it, and it is printed rather beautifully. The chapters are started, each time a chapter starts, there's a bit of an ombre effect on the pages. So it's a really cute little volume. Might be something good for Father's Day or something like that. But it is, I'm sure you've heard of Tuesdays with Morrie. That is written by someone else. I don't remember the name of the gentleman who wrote Tuesdays with Morrie. But this is Morrie himself writing a book. So I guess he decided to get in on the action. But this is The Wisdom of Morrie by Morrie Schwartz. The next one I won is, of course, very different from that one. It is called The Lie Maker by Linwood Barclay. And this is an arc. It says, Linwood Barclay is a master of pace, structure, and suspense. And that quote comes from David Koepp, author of Cold Storage. Now, this is not the kind of book I would usually read. I'm not sure how I ended up with it. I must have seen it, read the synopsis, and gone, oh, that's something I'm interested in. So this is one that I won, and I'm going to read you a little bit about it. So The Lie Maker by Linwood Barclay. It is published May 16th, 2023, so just last week, and it is by William Morrow, and it's 352 pages. Here we go with the synopsis. In this twisty, fast-paced thriller from the New York Times best-selling author of Find You First and Take Your Breath Away, a man desperately tries to track down his father, who was taken into witness protection years ago before his enemies can get to him. Your dad's not a good person. Your dad killed people, son. These are some of the last words Jack Given's father spoke to him before he was whisked away by witness protection, leaving Jack and his mother to pick up the shattered pieces of their lives as best they could. Years later, Jack is a grown man with problems of his own. He's a talented but struggling author, barely scraping by on the royalties from his moderately successful first book. So when the U.S. Marshals approach him with a lucrative opportunity, he's in no position to turn them down. They're recruiting writers like Jack to create false histories for people in witness protection, people like Jack's father. The coincidence is astonishing to Jack at first, but he soon realizes this may be a chance to find his dad. Only there's one problem. Jack's father hasn't made contact with his handlers recently, and they have no idea where he is. He could be in serious danger, and Jack may be the only one who can find him. But how will he find a man he's never truly known? A man who has done terrible things in his lifetime and made some deadly enemies in the process. Enemies who wouldn't think twice about using his own son against him. So this is sort of your classic thriller, fast-paced, the story of a father and son, witness protection, enemies that are out to get them, but I'm interested in the fact that this writer is hired to write backstories for people in witness protection. I think that's what caught my attention. I love anything about books and writing, And it never even occurred to me that somebody has to create these stories. And it's probably not just somebody at the FBI. It's probably someone who has a creative background. So I thought that was fascinating, and I want to see how that plays into this story. So I hope that maybe that will get your attention too. This is The Lie Maker by Linwood Barclay. The next one is also a little different for me. This is a Fern Michaels book, and it is called Fear Thy Neighbor, and it is a tiny little book. It's not even the same size as a regular paperback. It's just small. So it says, from the number one New York Times best-selling author, Fern Michaels. And the beginning of the back says, Michael's highly developed skills as a storyteller are evident in the affable characters and suspenseful plot. And that is from Publishers Weekly. So let's read a little bit about this one and see how I ended up receiving that one. It does have a cool little cover. So it's got a beach house looking, residence there, and a blanket on the beach that almost looks like somebody's left it behind, like they left in a big hurry. So that gets my attention, and the palm trees. So, probably a summer read with this summery kind of background, but we will see. It was published March 29th, 2022. So the publisher must be trying to get more attention for it. It is published by Kensington, and it's 262 pages. And I just received it in the past couple of weeks. So here's what we know about this one. A thrilling new book from the number one New York Times bestselling author of No Way Out that fans of Nora Roberts and Rachel Caine won't want to miss. One woman's picture-perfect island sanctuary reveals itself to be filled with dangers in this exciting page-turner. At 29, Allison Marshall is ready to find a place to call home. With no family and no ties, she's drifted from one small Florida town to another since high school, working odd jobs, saving hard, and building a nest egg. Once she finds the right place to settle down, she'll know. And when she reaches beautiful Palmetto Island, she thinks she may have found it. The small, close-knit island community seems to have everything Allison needs. On a hunch, she contacts the island's only realtor and learns that an old beach house is on the market. Miraculously, it's in her budget, and Allison takes it as another sign that she's in the right place. At first, home is everything she hoped it would be, but as days turn into weeks, she uncovers a dark side to this supposedly peaceful haven. The locals have a secret, and once Allison discovers what it is, she faces a stark choice. She can stay and join them or escape, but leaving brings its own risks, and Allison is starting to wonder if coming to Palmetto Island is the last mistake she'll ever make. So again, sort of a classic thriller. Again, really out of my wheelhouse, but when I read the synopsis, I thought, oh, that sounds interesting. She found this island paradise, and now there are secrets to uncover, and it's going to be fast-paced and thrillerish. I want to try that. So I want it, and I'm going to read it. We'll see what I think, and I will be sure to let you know in a review sometime soon. I don't think it's going to take me very long to read it, so stay tuned, and we'll see what's true about this one. The last one I have for you tonight is very different from the other ones. It is called The Museum of Human History, and it is by Rebecca Bergman. I want to make sure that glare is not getting on there for you. The Museum of Human History by Rebecca Bergman. And it says, one of the most agile novels I have read in a long time. It reads like a documentary retold as a dream, retold as a mystery novel. What a wise, good-hearted debut. So it is a debut novel. We'll read more about it in the synopsis, but that quote is from Kate Bernheimer, whom I'm not familiar with. So let's read about this one, The Museum of Human History. Here's what I know about this one. It was published it's going to be published August 1st, 2023 by Tin House Books, and it's 256 pages. It says, complex, philosophically searching, and gorgeously rendered, Rebecca Bergman's The Museum of Human History is a sharp and startling debut about a young girl frozen in time in a world obsessed with youth and self-preservation. After nearly drowning, 8-year-old Maeve Wilhelm falls into a strange comatose state. As years pass, it becomes clear that Maeve is not physically aging. A wide cast of characters finds themselves pulled toward Maeve, each believing that her mysterious sleep holds the answers to their life's most pressing questions. Kevin Marks, a museum owner obsessed with preservation. Monique Gray, a refugee and performance artist. Lionel Wilhelm, an entomologist who dreamed of being an astrophysicist. And Evangeline Wilhelm, Maeve's identical twin. As Maeve remains asleep, the characters grapple with a mysterious new technology and medical advances that promise to ease anxiety and end pain, but instead cause devastating side effects. Weaving together speculative elements and classic fables and exploring urgent issues from the opioid epidemic to the hazards of biotech to the obsession with self-improvement and remaining forever young, Rebecca Bergman's The Museum of Human History is a brilliant and fascinating novel about how time shapes us, asking what, if anything, we would be without it. So I love the premise. I love that it's a debut, and I love the premise. This young woman goes into a coma and stops aging. And now all of a sudden, all of these people are very interested in what is causing that to happen for all of their own different reasons. But it says it brings in all kinds of other things, medical advancements and new technology about easing anxiety and ending pain, but it causes devastating side effects. And then it says it also talks about the opioid epidemic, the hazards of biotech, and of course, the obsession with remaining young forever. So I'm really intrigued by this one. I hope it is not too dense. It sounds very serious and heavy. So I hope that she tells the story in a way that has a driving plot and entertaining characters that I can get attached to. But I will give it a read and let you know. It doesn't come out until early August. So I have time to read this one before it's actually on the shelves for you to get your hands on. Okay, so those are the 5 books that I've won most recently through Goodreads giveaways. I love having the opportunity to come here and tell you about some titles that the publishers are hoping to promote and that I have gotten my hands on for free through Goodreads giveaways. I usually also tell you guys how to do that, just in case you don't know. If you go to Goodreads, click on, I think it's Explore, and then giveaways, there'll be lists of books that are being given away. I usually sort on recent. Those are the ones that have been put up most recently, and I have the most time to enter. You can also, there are other sort mechanisms. You can do it by the ones that are expiring the soonest, so you want to get into that giveaway before it expires. But you can, every day there are new books, and you only choose to enter the ones that you're interested in. And once you have your information in there once, it's carried over, so you don't have to enter your name and address and all of that stuff more than once. And it's a great way to get your hands on new titles and to add to your TBR with some things that you can't be quite sure whether you're going to like them or not. And it's everything from self-published novels to the big blockbusters that you're hearing all about. Everything, it spans the gamut. So go out there and give it a try and see what you win. I hope that you enjoy these videos. If so, please click like and subscribe. It helps me to know what it is you're interested in so that I can continue to make videos that cover those topics. I hope that you'll keep coming back and watching these videos. I love giving you the skinny on what's coming up new, on what I've read and how I felt about it, and giving you bookstore tours and a few other little tricks that are up my sleeve. As I said, I hope you'll keep coming back, and we will continue to talk all things bookish again soon. Take care. Bye.